This is from the American College of Sports Medicine. This is a beginning exercise program. So I gave you this so kind of you have some paperwork if you want to start exercising, the basics of it. So I'm going to go over that. Most of it we've already talked about. But when it talks, let's see, improving, cardiovascular, muscular strength and flexibility. We've all gone over that, know about sets and reps. So what I want to talk about right here is exercise sequence. It's that little box at the bottom. What they recommend is this is kind of how you want to do the sequence of exercise when you exercise. First is the warm-up. Basically, it's about 5 minutes. It's anything very low intensity to kind of get your heart rate up, your body prepared for exercise. Then you can do cardio or strength training, whichever you want to do first. It doesn't really matter. The cool down comes at the end of the cardiovascular section. You just basically, it's the same as the warm-up. You bring your heart rate back down. So that's what that's for. And then finally, the stretching comes at the very end, 5 minutes or so. You want to do most stretches to get most of your muscles. So that's just this, and a lot of it we'd already gone over. Goes over the sequence, how to increase it, things like that. Alrighty? Then we're going to go over this, tips for using the food label. I got this over, I think, the HealthGov website. This is very important. When it comes to knowing what we're eating, if we don't know how to read labels, it's not going to make any sense to us. So, just go to the part where it has nutrition facts right quick. It should be the second page or on the back of it, depending on what it is. So this is the label. So the first thing you come down right here is serving size. It's 1 cup. That is the first thing you'll notice and the first thing you want to pay attention to. Because look at it this way. Then the servings per container are 2. So if you ate the whole container, which would be 2 cups, you would have to double all the calories. So for example, soup, a can of soup is actually 2 servings. So, when you're reading the label, you have to double it. So just be, just like the serving of nuts, it's 1/4 of a cup. So just be mindful of that when you're reading the labels. All right? Then it gets amount per serving. That means calories. So this serving is 250 calories per cup. Again, let's say I ate both of them. Well, that would be 500 calories. And then calories from fat is 110. So they just let you know how much comes from fat in particular. It shows you down here total fat, 12 grams. That's how much fat is in the total, the serving. Divides it by saturated and trans fat. Cholesterol is 30 grams. Then sodium, it shows you by milligrams is the next thing. Potassium, then goes to carbohydrates, 31. Sugars are 5, proteins are 5. So that kind of goes an overview of how to read the label. So the big thing when it comes to reading a label is pay attention to the serving size and how many servings. All right? And it goes based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So when it says over here daily value 18% for total fat, that's if you were eating a 2,000 calorie diet. That is 18% of the fat they would recommend for you on a 2,000 calorie diet. If you eat more or less, the values change. Does that make sense? Okay? And it goes on the front a little bit, kind of, check this. It talked about check the servings and calories, make the calories count. I wouldn't really, honest truth, you can have some of this, but looking on what you get out of this food, who thinks it's really nutritious? It's 12 grams of fat, no fiber, 5 grams of sugar, only 5 grams of protein. It might not be the best choice sometimes. The final overview on this, it says eat less sugar, like we talked about before. Sugar is easy to add up. Talks about reducing the sodium, things like that. This is just something I wanted to give y'all to kind of give you some overview when it comes to reading labels and stuff like that. So y'all have something to take with you. All right, on anything we've talked about, do y'all have any questions? I know I threw a lot of information at y'all. But do you have any questions about exercise in particular?
Yes. I have a question. So you know, you're supposed to have have so many carbs, why do most people go on low carb diets?
Because it's the easy way to lose weight. I mean, it just is. Because people overeat on carbs more easily than anything else, it's easy to cut down on that. I don't believe in a low fat diet. I don't believe in a low carb diet. I mean, I believe in eating kind of within the range of what we need. Does that make sense? But the reason they do it is because it's easier to lose weight that way. Yes?
What about the vegan diet?
Vegan's fine if you want to do it. You just basically have to cut out all sorts of meat and meat products. Now you're going to eat fairly healthy because of that, because you're having to eat more vegetables and things like that to make up for the lack of calories from meat. However, there are a couple of, protein is good for you. There are vitamins that you do get from meat that you have to be careful of making sure you replace it with something else, and that can be hard to do.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat a lot of meat, but I can't go vegan. I still will eat some meat simply because there are some health benefits from it. No problem. Anybody else?